Good evening from Perique Studio. It is an evening now. It's 10, just gone 10 in the evening. And it's that time of the evening where I'm thinking, I just fancy one more pipe. What should I have? Well, as the title of this particular video should give it away, it's time for Peterson Nightcap. A mixture of Latakia, Oriental and Perique, and it is very tasty indeed. Now, I'm fairly sure many people have heard of this. In fact, I'd be very surprised if anybody hasn't heard of it. It's up there with the classics. The early morning pipe and nightcap go hand in glove together, as in beginning of the day, the end of the day, and for very good reason. Early morning pipe is designed to whet your appetite a little bit for tobacco. Not too strong, still very flavoursome, not powerful, and gets your taste buds ready, woken up, so as to say, in the morning. Whereas nightcap assumes that you've had a few pipes, a few bowls throughout the day, and your taste buds have been strengthened and maybe slightly abused. And this is a stronger tasting, stronger flavour, more nicotine. It's a full-bodied smoke, one that you should never smoke on an empty stomach. Really, the nicotine content is quite high, and I think you'll find that it's much more enjoyable after a meal, and you're settling down for the evening, and you just want to chill and lay, kick back a little. So let's join me and we'll light a pipe. I'll use my trusty Peterson straight pipe as ever, and been using this all day, only to rest it tomorrow. And we'll light up a nice bowl of nightcap. So I'll just adjust this screen down a little bit. There we go. Can't see my ugly face now, but you can see the beautiful tobacco. So let's open this up. Oh, I've got the smell straight away as soon as I open that. Wow, the Perique and Latakia, you can definitely smell it. Wonderful. So here we are. To the uninitiated, that's what it looks like in the tin. So I shall just grab a bowl of that. Should be enough. And I'll just air it out a small bit. I tend to air all of my tobaccos now, even when they've been in the tin a little while, just to basically let the air pass through the tobacco, let it breathe a little bit before I squish it into a pipe, but not too tightly, I must add, because if it's too tight it's hard to pull the air through and keep lit, and the more you pull on a pipe, the more chances are that you will get a little bit of tongue bite, and that's not something that anyone wants. So let's see how we get on with this. So there are a few bigger pieces, so I might just put them to one side. I'll put them into the bowl first, just at the bottom, and leave the rest, the medium ones, for the middle, the main part, and then the finings, they can go at the top at the end. So here we go, let's get this started. Just put in my little filter. Yep. Slide that in nicely, just ease it in. There's no rush, is there, really, when you're smoking a pipe? It's just nice to take your time. I think so. And bigger piece there. Well then, just gently ease that down. Top it up again. The medium. Slight pinch as I put it in, but not much. And I'll just Push that down a little bit firmer. Not too much, don't need it to be too tight, because after all you want to be able to draw on it and the air to flow through it nicely. Get all the flavour, and I don't want it to burn hot. Definitely do not want this to burn hot. That would not be an enjoyable smoke. Before to push this in a little bit tighter. This is the top. A few of those little fine pieces on the top there now. Probably get all of this in. So I'm going for a nice enjoyable smoke here. Last one of the day, make the most of it, shall we say. There we go. A bit of a spin. Check the draw. Marvellous. Hold it there, capture all these pieces. Don't want those to go to waste really, do we? Well, I don't. I need to clear the edge of the tin as well to make sure that it doesn't still forms a seal. Okay. Good night, Nightcap. I'll see you tomorrow evening. Okay, let's get this baby lit. Just the camera over. There we go. Gentle flame. That is wonderful. Absolutely divine. Yeah. Shame none of you are here and we could have a good conversation in life, in real life. It's a little bit like the old days when we went through and we all had to work from home, work through Zoom. Done. I'm sure if you're watching this in the evening and you have some Nightcap, you'd care to join me. Do join me. That really is nice. Yeah. Excuse me while I just relish in the flavour here. Very nice. So what's in it? Once again, we shall consult Miss Moran's. I always consult them. They have a great description. Tobacco review is quite good too, but it's a little bit ambiguous. I find like they don't always have an amazing description, and then it's what everybody else thinks of it, and it's very subjective, isn't it? So, Peterson Nightcap pipe tobacco is a mixture of Virginia, Latakia, Orientals and Perique, blended to the original Dunhill recipe. They have to keep saying that, and that is because everybody harks back to the Dunhill days as saying it's so much better, but it is the same recipe because they were making it back then even. This is a rich, deep tobacco which blends the sweetness of the Virginias, the sweet and the sour notes of the Orientals, the raisin, plum and pepper notes of the Perique, with a smooth, smoky and woody Latakia. A full strength tobacco with a wonderful taste and aroma. I agree with that 100%. I get all of those tastes, and the aroma is just absolutely simply divine. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. Indeed you should. There's no excuse because it's readily available all over the world. The cut is a mixture cut. Blend, obviously, as we know. Virginia, Oriental, Latakia and Perique. There is no flavouring in this tobacco. Doesn't need it. Full strength. The flavour and the aroma comes specifically from the tobaccos within the mixture. How they're prepared, blended, created in the first place. Oh, it is amazing. However, it probably is a little different to what it used to be back in the early Dunhill days. But it's nothing to do with the recipe. It's to do with the tobacco itself and how it's harvested. It is harvested completely different to the way it used to be years ago. Years ago they had time. They didn't have the machinery neither. And had passed through the fields multiple times, collecting the tobacco leaves that were ready to be picked or harvested. They wouldn't peel all the leaves off a plant, I think, in one go. However, nowadays, with machinery and time, meaning money, they don't do it that way any longer. They tend to just strip the tobacco out all in one go. So you're not going to get as good quality as you used to back then. Maybe not all the places do it that way, but a lot of them do. It's a shame. It's like everything in this world. Everybody's in a rush. No need to rush smoking a pipe, is there? If you're rushing to smoke your pipe, you're not going to enjoy it. You have to take your time. It takes time. Think of all the time it took to grow the tobacco, to dry it, press it, cut it, blend it, store it, age it. Eventually it's packed, shipped out, and then we buy it, shipped up to ourselves, or you go and pick it up from the store itself. By the time you get it home, it's passed through many, many hands. Many hands. Travelled many, many miles. Another half an hour or an hour isn't going to kill it, is it? I think it's more respectful. Enjoy the process. Think of the chaps and the ladies in the fields, harvesting, growing, the factories, blending, canning. You get it, and you appreciate all the work that they've done to get it to you. You can't rush that, can you? It's not worth rushing. Something that you just need to think things through. Enjoy it. Not like cigarettes, are they? I remember when I was at work, I went out to the smoking, designated smoking area with my pipe. The chap turned up with his cigarette. We had a deep conversation. By the time I'd finished my pipe, he nearly smoked his full packet of cigarettes because he didn't want to leave me. He was happy with the conversation. I was there over half an hour or 3/4 of an hour. I didn't mind. Didn't care. I only enjoyed my smoke. He'd have a cigarette and be gone within a minute. Maybe two. Yeah. Can't rush smoking a pipe. One of my uncles, he would smoke, take a few puffs, chat away, he'd go out. He'd just put it in his pocket and go away and go about his business. Then he'd fancy another puff, so he'd take it out of his pocket, go and light up and start it again. Till eventually he got to the bottom of his pipe. No rush. No point in rushing. Yeah. It really is a well-balanced blend, this Nightcap. They really, really knew what they were doing when they created this. It really, really is wonderful. I wonder how many people who work in Peterson's actually smoke a pipe. I'd say not many. Could be wrong, but I don't think there'll be many. Strange, isn't it? We're definitely a dying breed of people smoking pipes. I'm just saying that now, I might contradict myself a little bit here. I was looking on YouTube. My feed now is full of various channels chatting about pipe tobacco, and they're all younger than me. Well, not all, but a vast majority. I take it very seriously. That seems to be the way it is these days. When you start a hobby, you go all in, buy all the paraphernalia, all the gizmos, do all your research. And don't get me wrong, none of that is bad. But when we first started smoking years and years ago, we didn't have the internet. You just copied your father or your grandfather. That was it. There was no other way of learning. You'd learn the hard way for sure. I remember them letting you light up the first pipe, watching you taking these massive puffs and then choking. And they'll say, lad, just calm down. We don't need to do it that way. And you watch them. Yeah, they were never in a rush. One of my uncles, Uncle Charlie, what a guy. He'd just sit there looking at you knowingly. Mouth, pipe in his mouth, light it with this one Besta match, and just nod sagely, cross his legs, lean back in his armchair, and puff away. Maybe listening to the radio, or in those days it was called a wireless. And just listen away. Many of my uncles were in the war, Second World War. Some of them were in the First World War. They all smoked pipes. Some of them had some amazing lighters made from bullets, shell casings of bullets, machine gun bullets, and had some very, very strict traditions, and they were very superstitious. They would never take the third light. Came from the trenches. And the marksman first would see the flame, second light, and they would focus in and zoom in with their aim. Third one would shoot. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? I'm full of interesting, useless information like that. Yeah. We can learn a lot from the past, can't we? We need to adapt it for the future and the current, don't we? I know if you're working and you're allowed to take smoke breaks, they're designed for cigarettes, not for pipes. So maybe you're only allowed to take a short break. So I probably need to get a specific pipe for that. a very small one or a large one that you can relight, and just have a few breaks here and there. These days there are so few pipe smokers around. You're definitely in the minority. But you will find that you will always have a conversation with somebody. They will always strike up a conversation if you're out in public, without fail. My grandfather used to smoke one of those pipes. My father used to smoke one of those pipes. The smell of that tobacco just brings me right back. And before you know it, you're in deep conversation. One of those conversations, my uncle now, he was saying to me, he was in Cork and he was waiting for his wife, and he decided to light up his pipe, and this younger fella, well younger than us, his 30s or 40s, started conversation, talking to him, and he says, oh, I remember my grandfather, he'd always have his pipe, he'd always put in a pebble into the pipe before putting tobacco into it and light it up. Yeah, what a wonderful smell. My uncle thought, pebble? I don't know what you have, it put a pebble in my pipe, but he didn't say anything. He just registered it away. He said, oh yeah, interesting. Anyway, he thought about it. He thought, I wonder why they do that. So when he got home, he hunted around his garden, the driveway, and found a pebble that was smooth and clean, and popped it into his pipe. And then he packed his pipe as he would normally and smoked it, and it was fine. He thought, well, why do you do that? And then he realised you use a whole lot less tobacco because the pebble took up the bottom of the pipe, so he didn't have to put quite so much tobacco into his pipe. And that was his thought behind it. And I remember talking to him, I said, Jerry, you might also let it be a smoother smoke as well. The air might flow through the pipe better. So the tobacco's not stuck to the bottom of your pipe, it's up higher a little bit. It might be a dry smoke, or at least easier. So I tried it, and it works. And then I came across these. I don't know what they're made of, I think they're like chalk or something, compressed. And just pop them in the bottom of your bowl. They're shaped so like the air can get around them easily, and never plug the bottom of your pipe. And it does, it dries out, captures moisture. After a little while, it'll look a little bit like this. Eventually they get small, you just throw them out. They're only a couple of euros or so for a packet of 25. They'll last a good while. I got loads of packets of them, thinking I'll go through them quickly, but they'll last quite a while. Try them, see what you think. Modern innovation, maybe. Somehow I don't think it's that modern at all. Well, years back when they'd be putting pebbles in the bottom of their bowls to conserve the amount of tobacco they used to use, and they're saying another side benefit was smoother pipe. Yeah. So that's Nightcap. Beautiful blend. Nice logo, isn't it? Casts you back to the old days when there was no electricity, and you used to wear a nightcap going to bed to keep yourself warm. A long clay pipe and a candle. Lovely. Well, that was lovely chatting away to you all there. Maybe you might have learned something. Maybe I've whetted your appetite to try some nightcap. I hope so. It's a very old blend. Doesn't make it bad. It's a beautiful blend. Traditional. And sometimes they got it right. This was one of those times. What a beautiful blend this is. Anyway, I'm going to sit back now and enjoy the rest of my pipe. I'll leave you go. Thank you for listening. Hope you liked it. If you do, maybe you could click that like button. And if you aren't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. There's no pressure. None whatsoever. Enjoy the rest of the day, and if you're smoking a pipe, enjoy your smoke. Until next time, we'll see you again soon. Good luck and good night.